After my phase of consciousness at university level, I found myself very angry at Nelson Mandela, very angry at ANC leadership. And for many years, I called Mandela a sellout, and I felt that himself and the ANC leaders had chosen a bad deal at CODESA so that they could benefit, live well, be comfortable, while the rest of the majority of black people who had been fighting in the struggle would get a really, really bad deal. More in particularly, they couldn't get the land and they couldn't get a genuine piece of the economy. As I'd get older and I'd question things and I'd see how the world works, I'd realize that, Nelson was caught between a rock and a hard place and he had to make some kind of a compromise. Well, he didn't have to. South Africa could have gone to war and a whole lot of people could have died, on both sides of the fight. So the compromise was, let us spare life and let us look at a peaceful resolution into the way forward, which included one man, one vote, it included democracy, it included a new constitution, and it included black South Africans, the majority, having access to opportunities within the economy. Almost 30 years later now, we realize that this was a really tall ask and it was going to take a lot. These days when I speak, of course, to a lot of people, we still have a lot of heated debates and conversations around Nelson, around the ANC, and everyone else that's involved. And so many people are angry. But these people sold out, blah, 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 what. And I've had to sober up and look at how the real world works and realize that no one is going to give you anything on a silver platter. Nelson Mandela and a lot of the guys, Chris Hani, Oliver Reginald Tambo, Jacob Zuma, Thabo Mbeki, Cyril Ramaphosa, Tokyo Sexwale, Walter Sisulu, all these guys, they sacrificed a big part of their lives to fight. It's not just them in the ANC, but the people in the PAC, Robert Sobukwe, Mangalizo, but guys from Black Consciousness, Abo Stephen Bantu Bigo, that were fighting in their own ways. Mangosuthu Buthelezi and Inkatha Freedom Party. They sacrificed a part of their lives. They were there in meetings. Some of them went for training. They got weapons, and some of them were having or causing acts of terror, bombing buildings, getting people to not go to work, getting people to burn their IDs, getting people to be defiant and stand up. And they went to prison. Some for a short while, some for decades. Some were tortured, some were killed, so that we could have what we call freedom today. Huge prices to pay. And you'd hope that at the end, there'd be like a huge win. Unfortunately, there was a compromise settlement. Now for me, and this is what sobered me up, the question became, if you were Nelson Mandela, what would you have done? You're an old man, been in prison for close to 3 decades, kept away from your family, your children. You haven't had a chance to watch your children grow up. And you're there with some of your friends and colleagues and peers who also have had to sacrifice their children, their families, their careers, because they want a better day for the majority of the people, including their families. You're old, you're tired, you want to go home. You want to be with your family. Do you go to war and people die because you decided, no, I refuse to sit down and talk? Do you do that? Do you say, no, we will fight and bleed? And if the answer is yes, if the answer is yes, then the question becomes, why are you not doing it? You don't need to join the ANC, PAC, IFP, UDM, today the EFF. You don't need to join them to fight. If you feel there's some wrong and injustice in the world, you can go and get weapons. You can build your own army, like Umkhonto weSizwe, or like Azapo had Apla. I think Apla was the military wing of the PAC. I stand to be corrected. There's nothing stopping you. 10 guys, 20 guys, 50, 100 guys, with females, of course. Go and set up an army and go and fight people and go kill people for land and for the economy. And deal with the consequences. Nothing is stopping you. You're not jailed. Just because the ANC made compromised agreements doesn't mean you have to agree to them. You can go your own way. You can live according to your own rules. You can create your own mafia way of living. And you can do all the things that Nelson Mandela didn't do, because clearly he was a punk and clearly the ANC were punks. And don't go and get a nice job in a nice big company and speak good English and then make noise on social media. Go fight. Go become a soldier. Go lead. Because you claim you are better than him and you're not a sellout. Don't buy from the shops that you're buying from today that are not black owned. Don't live on pieces of land that are not black owned pieces of land. Go be the revolutionary and the activist and the warrior and the hero that you claim to be, or you claim that they should have been. They sacrificed and they compromised. That was their choice and their decision. What sacrifices have you made? Are you even willing to struggle just economically and say, I will only buy from black-owned businesses. I will only get meat and produce from black-owned farms. I will do whatever it takes to raise as much money as I can to buy land. Or I will go and I will fight people and take land from them, whether it's hijacking it illegally or whether I'm negotiating with them or whether I'm threatening it. What sacrifices have you made? Because you claim you are a better person. These thoughts sobered me up because it's always nice to make a noise. And as I get older, of course, and as my voice becomes audible to some people, the question becomes, you're a leader. Lead. Do. If you claim you could have done better, do better. When I set up the Buy Black movement, my hope was to infiltrate the minds of black people in South Africa and say, look, if you really have an issue with white people running the economy, with Indian and Chinese people running a chunk of the economy, if you have an issue with African foreigners, Nigerians, people from Malawi, people from Zambia, Zimbabwe, Mozambique, running pieces of the economy, if you have an issue with other foreigners from Bangladesh, from Pakistan, if you have issues with them, it's simple. Number one, don't buy from them. You have a little bit of money, go buy from a South African black-owned business. Easy. Easy. Is it not? Because you claim that they are stealing your jobs, they are running the economy. Okay, buy from black people, black South Africans. Number one. Number two, go and work for black South Africans. Don't work for white people, don't work for Indians and Chinese people, and go work for black South Africa. It is such an easy thing to do. No one is asking you to pick up a gun. No one is asking you to go to jail. No one is asking you to commit a crime. I'm just saying, with your labor, go work for the people that you claim are your people. With your money, go buy from the people that you claim are your people. And if you can't even do that, then what exactly are you talking about? What exactly are you talking about? These are the thoughts I've had. This includes something as sensitive as the land issue. Number one, land is free, and land belongs to no one. Land doesn't belong to the monkeys and the lions and the giraffe and the elephants and the zebra. It doesn't belong to them. Land doesn't belong to human beings. We're meant to coexist on this land. It's a platform. It's not a platform like social media platforms that are owned by someone, www. whatever. Land is here. It's ours. It's like saying someone owns the sky and, oh, you can't have this portion of the sky because it's been privatized by the capitalists. Land is free. People came and they agreed to private property so that certain people can own land and others can't. And if you want access to the land, you have to make money and buy it. And then even after buying it, you still have to pay rates to the government. So you never really own the land. It's owned by someone else. You just get to live on it. Land is sensitive. It is the beginning and the end of economic activity. Mining, farming, construction, just living, residential. You don't even need to have a house. Just sleeping on a patch of grass, sleeping in a cave, sleeping under a tree. You don't have to kill people to get land today. You don't have to hijack land today. You can save land as a collective. Get a group of like-minded people, save some money, and begin buying up small pieces of land, especially in an area that you like. Start with a small little stand. Buy more stands until you have a huge plot, and then get to tens, hundreds of hectares. And then from there, you can ring fence and be like, this is our land, we bought it. And then make sure once you have that land, you work it. Don't wait for other people to work the land. You need to work the land. You need to mine it. You need to farm on it. You need to build on it and make it something valuable. Like Las Vegas, like Sun City, like Melrose Arch, like Santon. Create something valuable with that piece of land. No one is stopping you from doing that. Instead of complaining for decades, we don't have land, but you're taking the money that you have, you're getting drunk, you're taking drugs, you're spending it on casual sex, buying drinks for girls, or giving men money. You're spending it on useless holidays. They're nice, of course. You get to escape and it's pretty but you don't have land. Buying expensive clothing, buying expensive alcohol, buying a fancy car. Do you need to be paying 10,000 Rand a month for a car, which is meant to get you from A to B, when with the same 10,000 Rand, you could be buying R1 million worth of land? And depending on where you buy it in this country, you could get 10 hectares, if not more, of land that you can then work. And once you work that land, whatever productive output you get from the land, you can use that to then buy a fancy car. That's how intelligent people do it. But we are addicted to complaining and whining and being victims and expecting someone else to save us and waiting to blame someone else. We blame everyone but ourselves because we are not willing to buy from our people. And by our people, I'm not speaking about black people, because I'm a non-racialist. Talk about people that are within my circle, my family, my friends, people that add value to my life. I'm not willing to buy from my people. I'm not willing to work for my people. Work for your people. Something as silly as on social media, use your account to promote your siblings' businesses, your cousins' businesses, your friends' businesses, so that people can buy from them. That's service. That's value. Not willing to work for your people. Not willing to collaborate with your people and go and buy pieces of land, even though land is meant to be free. Buy pieces of land and make the land productive. And in that way, you can own a piece of the economy, a piece of the land, live successfully, and do what you claim Nelson Mandela and the ANC leadership couldn't do. It's a challenge to you. You can keep complaining forever, or you can start working. You can go extreme, get weapons, fight, kill, die, go to jail. Or you can just get to work. Get off social media. Get off Hubley. Get out of the bar from drinking. Get out of lazing around and binging on series. And get to work and be like, how can I take this little bit of money I have? How can I take the few skills that I have and invest them into the people and into the spaces that I claim that I care about? Pen you all the black pen. Something to think about. Sure.